a head coaching job at Shiloh, and I came with him as his offensive coordinator, and we were able to really kind of start from scratch and take the things that he experienced as a high school player and the things that I knew, although I knew very little about football at that time, and really grow a playbook. And we've evolved over the years with the help of just some unbelievable coaches that we've been able to kind of bring into our building. Todd Dodge being one of them, and Rick Jones, and just so many over the years that have truly blessed us and allowed our offense to evolve. So I'll jump right in and give you our offensive mission. Our mission is we want to be elite at creating explosive plays, protecting the football, converting on third down, and scoring in the red zone. And those are obvious. I mean, we know those as coaches. We know if we do those four things, we're going to win a lot of football games and score points. But I think it's more than just having a mission. I think it's living the mission. As a coach and as a coaching staff and as a group of high school football players, I really believe the coaches that can take a mission like this and allow our players to have ownership and buy into the mission, and then to truly measure it, confront and demand it and reward it. To me, I think that's when this mission becomes a reality. And over the last few years, we've really seen this mission grow legs and really take over our offense. We scored 51 points. We averaged 51 points a game this year, and it was because of these things right here. We did a much better job of taking care of the football. We created a lot of explosive plays. And, we were decent on third down. We want to get better. We were decent, 91% in the red zone. So you can kind of see through some statistics that we did a good job. We're not satisfied. We know that we have to get better. We lost in the state championship game. We got our tails whipped and played our worst football. So we do definitely have a chip on our shoulder. We've got an edge about us. We want to keep getting better. And so I appreciate the opportunity to talk and want you guys to shoot holes in this. I've got a great staff with Brad Widger and Adam DePriest and Luke Dawson and Josh Barrett on offense. They do a phenomenal job of taking a vision and a mission and truly implementing it in our program. And so I'm thankful for them. Wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. They are the brains behind the mission. I have the vision, and they put the wheels to the mission, if you will. So that's our mission. Our offensive identity, there's really 7 components that we try our best to focus on. And you can see here that we do want to be fast-paced and no huddle. We do want to run a hurry-up system, but we want to vary our tempos. We have 8 different tempos that we will easily use in a football game, and we want to vary those tempos. I think that defenses get used to the 4-quarter fast-paced offense just like they would a 4-quarter slow offense, but using a variety of tempos to speed it up when we want to speed it up is our advantage as an offense. We want to have a physical, explosive downhill run game. It may sound a little much, but we carry power, counter, inside zone, outside zone, buck sweep, and maybe a couple others into every game. I wouldn't normally do that if I didn't have a phenomenal offensive line coach and very intelligent offensive linemen who we don't install in the spring. We start teaching with our O-line school in February, and we start early, and our offensive line coach does a great job of getting them to understand the difference between even and odd, and they know their assignments. And so we do feel like we can carry a lot of run game into every football game that we play. We want to attack the perimeter, and what we mean by that is those are free yards, and if we get 1 or 2 blocks on the perimeter and we get our athletes the football, we feel like we can create explosive plays through the run, through the pass, and certainly on screens and quick game. And so we want to attack the perimeter at any chance that we get, and I think we do that very aggressively. We want to make sure our play action, our vertical pass game is a threat vertically. We just talked about stretching the field horizontally, but we also want to stretch the field vertically. We want to use all of the field. I think the most difficult thing to do as a high school football player is to cover a very talented receiver and a quarterback that have been throwing and catching for several years. It's hard to cover that thing deep. And so we want that play action, that vertical pass game to be a huge threat for us. We also want to use a variety of formations, shifts, and motions to give ourselves the advantage and to really force that defensive coordinator to burn chalk over the week. We want the defensive players that we're playing, we want them to be extremely sound, and when they're not, we want to use formation, shifts, and motions to give us the advantage and put them at a disadvantage. I've already said this, but we want to major in explosives, ball security, third down, and red zone, and I'll talk about what that means here in just a minute. And then the number 7, this is huge for us too. We want to create a relentless effort and an edge of mental and physical toughness at every position. It certainly starts with our offensive linemen, but we also need that out of our running backs, our fullbacks, our tight ends, our receivers, and most definitely need that out of our quarterbacks. I believe there's a clip or two from the film footage that I'm going to show you in this presentation where our quarterback gets hammered. And every time in our quarterback school, when we see our quarterback getting hammered, I always ask them, you guys do know what you're signing up for. And I always say, did our quarterback lay down, or did he pop up before the guy that tackled him popped up? And many times he did that. And he was very tough. And I really believe that relentless effort and that edge, the QB is not exempt. He must have relentless effort in our offense. And he must have an edge about him. He must be tough and physical, mentally and physically. And our quarterback over the last couple of years has certainly done that. He's about 5'7", 5'8", 165 pounds, does not have a strong arm and does not move extremely well. But he had a phenomenal season. And while I'm there, here are the 3 things that we want our quarterback to master in. Not arm strength, not speed, although those are qualities that we would love to have, but we want 3 things. We want a great leader. We want a young man that can make excellent decisions, and we call that great decision making. And then we want a guy that's accurate with the football. If we can get a QB to do those 3 things well, as you'll see here in just a minute, we feel like we can put a quarterback in the quarterback position. We can put a player in the quarterback position in our offense, and he can have a very successful season. So that's our offensive identity. On this next slide, I've just explained and kind of defined how we define our explosives: 18 plus through the air, 8 plus on the ground. We want our standard or our average to be 12 per game. And we did a fantastic job this season of exceeding that. And you can see here some of our offensive numbers. We had just over 7,000 yards of offense. We played 15 games, slightly under 5,000 passing, but we had 51 touchdowns through the air. We had 2,500 rushing yards and 50 touchdowns on the ground, 329 first downs and 270 explosives, 14 turnovers. 5 of those came in the state championship game. And so you can see we did have a very solid year. I believe we went something like 7 games with only 1 turnover. And so that was an area that we focused on. We have a 5-minute period every day called The Ball is the Program, and it's an opportunity for our offensive players, every one of them, even our linemen and our defensive players, to maximize the idea of, at Shiloh, the ball is the program. So we want to be excellent at takeaways, and we want to be excellent at ball security. We teach everybody in our program how to hold, how to carry, how to run with a football. We don't cross over the football. We keep it in that most advantageous arm, and we teach them the situations in which to put the football in the correct arm. When we go through traffic, we don't put the ball in the middle of our chest. We put the opposite hand over and cover it up to get the opposite shoulder lower to take that traffic collision and to maintain ball security. And so I really do think that our coaches teach it very, very well. And we wouldn't be giving this presentation, I don't think, if we weren't great at protecting the football and creating explosives. And so hope that helps you as you coach your players on your offense. Our quarterback production, he completed 70.87% of his passes, just over 4,000 yards and 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. We certainly have to get better, but that was a very solid QB season. This is probably the most impressive stat that you'll see from my presentation, but we had a player who was 6'1", 170 pounds, ran well. He's going to walk on at the University of Arkansas. He had 0 Division I offers. He had a couple of Division II offers, was a good player for us, but we really focused on getting him the football. And he stayed healthy. And he, I want to say, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say he led the nation with 134 receptions. If that wasn't the leader, he sure was close. He had 2,000 yards receiving, 30 receiving touchdowns, and 35 total touchdowns on the season. And so when creating explosives and taking care of the football, I really believe that the DNA, the secret sauce, if you will, is getting your best player the football. And we were able to do that several different ways, but he is one of the big reasons that we were so explosive on offense. A little bit about our running back. Our running back this season, he was a very surprise for us as well. He was a young man that we weren't quite sure of, but had a phenomenal season. And he had 183 carries, almost 1,300 yards, averaged 23 touchdowns. He also caught the football 51 times. So that's a little bit about our quarterback, our receiver, our number 1 receiver, and our running back. Here's a goal board. I've gone back and forth in my career on goal boards. There's been times when I thought they were pointless, but I think in my 16 or so years of coaching, I think this is my goal board that I'm most comfortable with, because I think these are measurables. I think we can confront and demand these. I think we can reward these. And, you see on there the no turnovers. We want the explosives. We want the explosive count to be something that we are talking about and our players understand. And you can definitely see a difference in our running backs, our quarterbacks, our receivers, whoever it is that's carrying the football. I believe we've got a different type of fight in us now that they understand what an explosive is. And our coaches, after the game on Friday, we do a little bit of both. We'll do the old school plus minus for assignment and execution grade. And then we'll also do a production chart. And that production chart, we're giving them points and even bonus points for explosives, for elite effort, for a sound block or a positive play. And so we're really trying to reward some of these measurables, and we want to give points to those guys that are protecting the football and they're creating those explosives. At the end of the year, the offensive player with the most production points, he wins the offensive player of the year, and he gets an award at the banquet. And so, again, we know football is a team sport, but I do believe that there are things that we can honor throughout the week in order for our guys to maximize their performance. And this goal sheet is definitely one of those. We want to be efficient. There's really 4 things in my opinion, that if you do better than the opponent, you're going to win the majority of your games. And one of those is ball security. The other is explosive plays. One of them is efficiency. We want to be efficient on first down, and we want to get 60% of the time, we want to get 5+ on first down. That is definitely a stat that we have to get better at. The other is tackles. If you tackle better than the other team, then obviously those 4 things we pride ourselves on. We want our quarterbacks to complete at least 65% or more or better throughout the football game. And again, it goes back to leadership, decision-making, and accuracy for us. We want to make sure that our quarterback understands how crucial it is to effectively and efficiently distribute the football to the athletes around him. We want to be at least 50% on third down. We want to convert 50% or more on third down. 1 or less dead ball penalties. We want 100% scoring in the red zone. We were at 91%. We want 450 total yards. I'm not a real big, you got to get this number of yards. I'm more of I want to make sure we get 8+ yards per play. We run a lot of plays, and I really believe that creating those explosives obviously gives us the best chance of getting those first downs and scoring, winning football games. We want 1 or less holding, blocking penalties, 1 or less negative plays or sacks. You can see on there the things that we did well, the things that we didn't. That's showing you, that's kind of like showing you the underwear drawer. It's being transparent. There's some ugly things in our lives and our football program we got to get better at, but we did do some things well. Here's a breakdown of our explosives. We averaged 18 per game, 158 passing on the season, 112 running on the season, and then ball security. As you can see there that we had 9 interceptions and 4 fumbles. Some of this both the explosives and the ball security came from our 2s and 3s and even some of our 4s. And so not all of those turnovers are first team, and just like not all of those explosives are first team. So we're obviously proud of our backups for contributing in a positive way to our football team this year. Third down conversion, 51%, fourth down was 56, and red zone was 91. Again, we already went over those numbers, but I think it just tells the story. All right, now here's something that I really believe we've gotten so much better at over the years. I know for a fact that there have been times when I've come in at halftime, and Chris Bryant's on here. He's now at the University of North Texas, but he coached with us, and he was the guy in the box that would keep up with the number of touches, the number of plays, and the number of yardage per play that we got on each play call. And there were times when maybe we would come in at halftime and I would say, how many touches did so-and-so get? And he might say they got X amount. And I was disappointed as a play caller because I didn't get our best guy or our best guys the football enough. The way we script plays now, I'll kind of tell you quickly about our process. After our Wednesday practice, I come into my office and I get up on this board and I start texting our playmakers. And there's typically, every year, there's typically 5 to 8 players that we really feel like we can get the football to in a football game, and 1 or 2 that they're obviously the best ones. On this particular sheet, on this particular picture, TT stands for Truett Tollett. He was our best receiver. He was the receiver that I told you got 134 receptions this year. I would text these guys and I would ask them to give me your best plays. And what I meant by that was, give me the plays that you feel most confident with, most comfortable with, and the plays in which you can create explosives. And so they send me their list and I write their name, I write their plays, and then I start scripting. I have 3 9-play scripts where I'll start plugging in their names. Truett caught 134 passes this year because in the first half, we were going to make sure that we scripted at least 10 plays for him. And so every game we came in at halftime, I wanted to be able to hear Truett has 8, 10, 12 touches. I wanted to make sure I did that. And so this strategy has, I believe, has allowed me to be a much better first half play caller. We do the same thing at the end of halftime, or excuse me, at the end of the first half. When we go in at halftime, we'll do the same thing. I'll get with our receiver coach, running back coach, O-line coach, and we'll make another script. And we'll say, what did we like? What did we not like? How would we like to script this next drive? We really believe in the middle 8. The middle 8 for us is the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. We take a 5-minute halftime at every practice, and we talk about the middle 8. And again, it's just another one of those statistics that if you can win that middle 8, you can be great in the middle 8, you can win football games. Those 8 minutes are crucial to the outcome of a football game. And so this strategy has helped me a lot. I think I've become a better play caller because we've gotten the football into our playmakers' hands early and gotten them comfortable. You can see here, this is a picture of the call sheet, top left, those 3 9-play scripts. P and 10 calls underneath. P and 10 calls for us, possession starters, where we have them on the sideline and we might have to reapply some knowledge, or we might have to coach them up just a little bit. And so those are slightly aggressive calls that we know we want to spend a little bit more time on. And so that's why we have a P and 10 column. Third down calls would get us off of the 3-play script. So if we're third and short, medium and long from left, middle, right hash, obviously we want to make a wise decision there, and that would get us off the script. Our landmarks would also get us off the script. So anytime we cross our 50, we cross the 50, we want to take a safe, aggressive shot. If we complete it or if it's executed, we feel like the chances of scoring are great. If not, the worst should be 2nd and 10. We have our best calls listed there. We've got our red zone script and we've got our goal line script. On the second page, or the back side of that call sheet, at the top in black represents our run. What we do as a staff is we have our outside, our power, our inside zones, our buck sweeps, our counter trays. And we as a staff, we're trying to decide which of those particular concepts, which of those schemes are best for the week. And so you see their formation, you might see motion. But we've kind of come up with those in order of what we liked best that week. I think as a play caller, important to me, especially when I know we need to run the football, to be able to look at my list and quickly identify what me and my coaches have established as our most efficient plays to run. The green represents our screen, and then you can see there we've got our 1 minute O scripted out, 4 minute O scripted out, any shots and specials. And at the bottom of that back page, we've got our position specific plays. Those are plays that our players are most comfortable with. So I feel like it's a very adequate way to design a call sheet. This particular presentation is about using, or about creating explosives, and I could tell you that we do it in a variety of ways, but 3 ways that I'm going to show you today. 1 is simplicity, 2 is using tempo, and 3, I'll show you a little bit of some creativity that my staff and I came up with that stole from somebody. Probably wasn't our own idea, but we stole from somebody. So first off, just simplicity. This is just 20 personnel power. This is 2-back power. And we run this play a lot. This is the first run play that we put in. And at a place like Shiloh, where you do play a lot of 7-on-7 and you do have a lot of tradition throwing the football, I believe that you have to develop that relentless, that physical and mental toughness, that edge with everybody. And so this is the first play that we put in, and we sort of brainwash our players into thinking that this is the best play ever. And you know, we really, as a staff, we know that that what we're telling them is true. You got to be able to run the football in all situations, but this is the way we block it and the way we run power. There's nothing special about it. But the way that we do it with tempo, I think, gives us a huge advantage. And I'll show you a few clips here where the defense is not lined up and we're able to do this quickly. This is a pace play for us. So if they see me point to the green grass and give them the pace, the number that this is, our offense is going to run up and line a line in this particular formation, and they're going to run power. And we're going to do it as fast as we possibly can. We hope the defense is not aligned properly. We track block or gap scheme block just to keep, if they aren't aligned properly, we feel like we can still create an A or B gap run for our back. And so I'll talk a little bit about how we block it. We are a vertical movement team. We also run inside zone. And so our right tackle right here, he's going to use the gallop technique. He's going to try to keep his shoulders square, and he's going to really try to get into that 3 technique with his hip against the guard's hip. His high foot will be the same high foot. Their inside foot is high with their eyes on 2. So 2 there would be the wheel linebacker. And we're trying to get vertical movement on that 3 technique. We want to move him. We will gladly take horizontal movement, but we really want to get vertical movement, and we want to keep our eyes on the wheel linebacker. Our guard is going to take a lead step with his left. His second step is going to be right at the crotch of that 3 technique. And our guard at 2 is going to try to get movement. Our offensive line coach gives him a couple of options. He can use an open hand. He can use what our offensive line coach calls a stunner technique to drive that forearm up and get vertical movement and get lift on that 3 technique. But obviously we still want our eyes on the wheel. We don't want him to run underneath. And so we're chip and we're comboing up to that wheel linebacker. Our term that we use is deuce chip. That guard block on that 3 technique is a 90% fit. We really want to try to get peck to peck and, again, just get vertical movement on that 3 technique with our eyes on the wheel linebacker. Our center is going to back block, and really this is a 45-degree angle step. We want to put our ear in his belly. We want to use that play side hand to really get into the hip or the ribs. And we want to make sure that he does not come over the top. So if he does try to work over the top, then we're going to really extend that right arm, lock it out, pull my head across that block, and use a wall technique to make sure that that nose does not interfere with the lane we're trying to create for the back. Our guard is going to square pull. So that's a 6-inch crossover step. We're trying to pull as tight as we can. We want to keep our shoulders as square as we can, and we want to find the double team. So we want to get tight. We want to pick the pocket of that right tackle and be very tight off of that double team block. We don't want to jump in A gap because there will be a temptation for that puller to jump in A gap when he sees a little bit of daylight. But we really want to make sure that we're wrapping tight off of that double team, and we're going to inside out the Mike linebacker. So he's aiming for number 1. He's trying to get tight, trying to get vertical, and trying to kick the Mike out. Our backside tackle is going to do what we call a scoop hinge, and he's going to scoop. If anything shows in B, he's got it. If it does not show, then he's going to hinge. If that edge defender does get deep but redirects and tries to run over the top, then our tackles are taught to high hinge, and they're just going to redirect with him and cut him off so that he can't interfere with that run lane either. Our H, he's going to do something very similar to what the guard's doing. He's trying to take a lead step, and he's trying to put his second step into the crotch. He's aiming for the crotch of that C-gap defender, and he's going to try his best to kick with his kick technique. We want to make sure that he does not get any type of penetration. And the worst thing, you know, it's not, it can happen. He can seal that, and we can bounce it a gap wider, but we really want our H's, our 5s to understand that it's important to kick him out. If we're not winning that battle, if we're not able to kick him out, then it's up to me as the play caller. Now we need to be running buck sweep, and we certainly do that. So depending on what kind of action we get, how aggressive and how fundamentally sound that C-gap defender is when he sees that right tackle down block, if he's trying to spill it and kill it, there are times when we just will resort to running the buck sweep or the pin and pull and try to get the edge. Our receivers to the call side are MDM on this particular play. If we wanted to RPO this, we could call it Pain. Our pass concept with hitch fade option is main. Our power play is called Panther. And so if we want to run Panther and main, we call it Pain. So that's an RPO option that we can run if we're getting some type of trigger with the Sam linebacker. If we get edge pressure, we can call Momo, and Momo for us is man on, man outside. And so now the right tackle is going to slow down. He's going to allow that pre-snap C-gap defender to cross his face. He's going to cross into B-gap. We're going to slow down, collect it, and wash it down. The back in the backfield is going to hit the gap. He's going to hit the lane a gap wider, and then our 5-man, or our H, he's going to pick up the new C-gap defender, that edge pressure. So if you're looking at this diagram, if the Sam did walk up, it's up to our 5-man and our tackle to call Momo. And again, that's just a real easy way to collect that and allow the 5-man to kick out the new C-gap defender. If we get a 4-eye on the play side, one of the calls, one of the adjustments, the slight adjustments that we can make is our tackle and our 5 will call switch. And so now we're just going to switch assignments, and our tackle now will fan out to edge pressure, and our 5-man will do his best to dig out and kick the 4-eye. If we get backside 4-eye pressure, we can cut him is one option. We can read him as another option. So there are times when we'll put the back opposite and we'll read a 4-eye on the backside. Our left tackle in this case would fan the next defender, and we would read the 4-eye. If we got a squeeze by the 4-eye, the quarterback would keep it. We can also have a TP call. And a TP call for us is tackle pull. We also call that toilet paper for kicks. And that's a case where we got a backside 4-eye, and now our guard can kick him out, and our tackle can do the square pull. When we get bear front, we can go back. So 3 back for us. When we get bear front, now we're all back. Now we lose the combo, but we can back, still pull and kick. When we get bear, just FYI, one of the things that we do talk about a lot is COPS. It's an acronym for bear front, and for us, it's just a reminder that against bear, we like counter, option, power, and sprint out. So we do like COPS versus bear in our offense. When we get bear, we don't want our guys to freak out. We want them to know that we've got a plan, and that's counter, option, power, sprint out. We want them to be comfortable blocking it against bear. When we get a tight front, we're seeing a lot more of it. When we get a tight front, one of our adjustments is add a tight end to the line of scrimmage. And so you'll see us get into 11, and we'll run power, 1-back power RPO. We'll run a buck sweep that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. But those are all some of the things that we want to try to do. So again, nothing crazy about how we block this, but I think with tempo, this play becomes even more effective. Our single receiver has the yes, no, and we read that by leverage and alignment and personnel. So if that corner gets within 6 yards and there is no third level defender threatening over the top, we do have the ability to throw the fade. If that corner is off and he is +6, but there is a forced defender underneath, or there is not a forced defender underneath, then we can throw the hitch. And so me and the quarterbacks are going to be on the same page when it comes to the green light on that yes, no. We won't mess that up. Our back in the backfield is going to power shuffle. We teach him slow to the hole, fast through it. We want this to look like an A-gap run. We would love to get A-gap every single time, but he knows that he's got to be slow and allow this thing to develop. If A-gap is closed, he's going to stay front side. You'll see in a clip later where that's not the case, and it is football, and we still teach high school players where there are times when we hit it out the backside. It's not ideal, but there are times when we hit it out the backside. Another thing that our right guard is taught is if the wheel is playing over the top, we have a U out call where if the wheel does chase and get over the top, well, now we're going to still combo to him, but we're going to U out and just kick him out. And there is a clip of that in here, I believe. So I hope that just kind of explains how we block power. We spend a lot of time teaching it, and we have several adjustments off of it. We've got great play action off of it, but we do it with tempo, and I'll show you a few clips. Guy running off the field, you got a defender running off the field, and we're trying to do this quickly. So what we like to do when we get a first down, we like to pace this. We like to call our pace play and line up in 20 personnel and just run power. You can see here from the end zone, we do have a 4-eye, so our tackle takes the 4-eye. Right here, our receiver should understand the Momo here. He should bypass this edge defender. They are lining up late, and so there are some issues with us, but they do line up late. We should Momo this, so our tackle should allow that 4-eye to jump in B gap. When he does, he's going to wash him. Our H-back should kick that edge defender, and our inside receiver should work up to the next linebacker. Not exactly how it panned out, but we did get the collection of the 4-eye. We did get the kick of the C-gap defender. Our guard, actually, our pulling guard, he square pulls, does a good job. He finds that first linebacker, not necessarily his, but he finds the first one in the hole, and we tell that guy, clean up the chaos. If it's not as clean as it was on the board, that's okay. It's your job to go clean it up, and our left guard cleaned it up right here, and our back found a way to get in the end zone. Another look right here. Notice what our inside receiver does. We're trying our best to teach him. You've got to a line in which you can dig out that outside linebacker, but if he will move with you, clean the box up and allow him to expand so that we do have a cleaner box. See here, we don't get a great square pull and kick on the mic, but it is effective enough, and we're able to split it for an explosive play. Our tackle's doing a great job here of just locating the wheel. The wheel did not show. And again, we've got a great run lane. So that's a little bit about how we run power. I've got clips on here and we could talk a lot of power, but I do want to get to my next. At the end, if you have questions about how we run power, feel free to let me know. But this is these are just a few clips of us doing it, both against both an even and an odd front. What I like about this clip is, again, it's gap or track blocking. So our right guard, he knows that this is an odd front. Now they're ace chip, and so now they're going to work that nose to the wheel. But what happens when somebody shows up in his gap? Well, he just collects him, stays on his track, and allows our back to find that hole. We don't get to the wheel, but the back does a great job of cutting and making the wheel miss. So again, we like using gap scheme in our tempo concepts. We feel like if we'll just be disciplined to stay on our track, we'll be just fine. The U out call right here, watch number 50. He does pull the string on motion, and he finds himself over the top of the double team. Our guard redirects and kicks him. So number 50, he's bumping to motion. He finds himself on the outside of that, and our right guard is able to U out. That was the one slight adjustment that I told you about. And then here's our switch call. So play side, we do have a 4-eye. So we get a switch call. Our tackle now is going to fan, and our H-back is going to dig out that 4-eye. Our back does hit it backside, but again, we'll take it. It's an explosive play, and we had a hat on a hat. Again, tempo, we're trying to go as fast as we can go. The defense is not aligned. We love it. So after we got a big explosive play, we love to go pace one. It was a second down call here. I would imagine that we lined up fairly quickly and just ran base, two-back power. When we want to go one-back power, the only difference now is now we lose that double team on the play side. Now we're going to base out the 5 technique, 3 technique with our right tackle and right guard. We used to teach our quarterbacks, read the wheel. If the wheel triggers and tries to fit the run, we're going to throw this football. We don't tell him that anymore because now defenses do a great job. Now the wheel linebacker can trigger and fit the run, and the weak safety or another defender can match the receiver space on the win route. So now we teach him, is it clear or is it cloudy? So his read right here is clear or cloudy. He's going to locate that win route. For us, the 4-man is going to run the win route. We define the win route by a 3 or a 5-step in or slant route. So you're going to win back the space that the defense gives you. The 2-man or our outside receiver here is going to run the fin, the 5 and in, and then we're still going to MDM or most dangerous man to the play side with our 6-man and our 8-man. We can quick game that, we can screen that, but for the most part, we want that side to be protected just in case we do hand it. And so we're still MDM to that side. So our quarterback's going to read clear or cloudy. If it's clear, he's going to reset his feet and make the throw. This was one-back power call for us this year. It was very successful. I think we did have some really good athletes at our X and our Z. And so I really think that a lot of teams overcompensated to just make sure they had those guys covered. And again, one-back power for us, one-back RPO was very successful for us. See here against an odd front, we just do a great job of gap blocking. Our left guard pulls, kicks, and we create that A-gap run for our back. Same call here. This is a 4th and 2 call, and they go 0, man us up, and we're able to get a hat on hat. There is no edge defender, and we're able to wash and run. So again, just using one-back power and having that threat to throw the football, I believe is a defensive, what I would call a static softener. We throw those in the dryer when we want our clothes to soften up. I really believe that RPOs do that to our opponents. They know that our quarterback can set his feet and make a throw. And so we get a whole lot more teams occupied with receivers than we do defensive 2nd and 3rd level guys trying to fit the run. And I really believe that that has become an advantage for us. Our run game has increased because of the ability to throw the RPO. Do we always throw it? Nope, we don't. We would much rather run it. But having the ability, the threat to throw it really forces the 2nd and 3rd level defenders to question themselves. And we love it when they question themselves. They don't play as fast. They're not near as aggressive. And it's fun to take advantage of it. This is the one-back RPO against a tight front, and notice the dime safety. One of the things that we like to do, this was a team in our conference, and for a conference championship game right here. And so one of the things that we did later on, this tight front, don't let it fool you. That dime safety is not a safety. He's a dual read defender, and if he reads run, he's coming. And so he becomes that linebacker. And one of the things that we're going to do differently this coming season is we're going to do a better job of having a plan for him, and we've got some ways in which we will do that I'm very excited about. Not sure I want to get into how we're going to do that, just in case they're watching, but I certainly will share that with you guys. But the point that I'm trying to make with this is you've got to have a plan for that dime safety. And this is a look right here where we pull for the mic, but we do not, our double is really wasted. both left guard and left tackle kind of fan out for the same defender. Our inside receiver, we have a rule for our inside receiver and our tackle. If that outside linebacker is less than 2x2, then the O-line is going to be responsible for him. If he's greater than 2x2, then our back is saying, I've got him. So right here, we could have done a few things differently to maximize the hat on a hat. So I put that clip in here because we will have a better plan against tight front and 3 safety next year. Same call, just out of a different formation. Now we're 3-by-1. And so nothing changes other than now we're going to make sure the defense can protect their single side. If they don't, if they pull the string to the 3 receiver side, then we are more likely to get a hat on a hat, and we certainly did that here. We were able to wash the end. We wrapped for the Mike. The only player that is unblocked or hanging around is that Will linebacker, and notice his hesitation. Really the Mike linebacker, the linebacker to the field in the box. He's hesitant because he knows we have the ability to throw the RPO. And again, if we weren't an active RPO team, that Will linebacker would be triggering now, but he can't. He's been coached to protect that inside receiver on number 3, and he is not triggering the way that he should because of the RPO threat. Same concept. Now we're running opposite the 3 receiver side. This is a look here where pre-snap, our quarterback sees that the corner on the single is at 6. So he could throw the win route, but he also sees number 22 here in the boundary, and he sees that flat defender. And so pre-snap, he's thinking, I'm handing this. Post-snap, he very well could have thrown it because there is a throwing window there to our single. However, he chose to give it, and our back did a great job. Our offensive line fit everyone up, and our back made an explosive run for a score. So again, it's fun. I think these RPOs, when you teach them and you've got a quarterback that you trust, they can be a lot of fun. If your quarterback's not the 3 things that we're looking for, he's not a great leader, he's not a great decision maker, or he's not accurate with the football, then yes, these RPOs can really bite you. But our QBs have done a great job over the years of making them work. Here's a prime example. Early in the game, that's our best player. That's the 134 catches on the year receiver. Early in the game, I would have thought that he was going to give, but he found the clear read. He reset his feet, made a nice accurate throw. And I really believe that it was throws like that in this game and in some other games that really softened up the defense. They were so hesitant to trigger on the run because they knew at any time our quarterback could pull it and throw it. Same play out of 11 personnel. Now we've attached the tight end, and then this is a look, same play out of 11 personnel. We've attached the tight end against a tight front. So one of our answers, like I've already said, is attaching the tight end. When we do get a tight front, force that defense to show their cards. Here's a look. I put this clip on here because you can see this is a 3rd and short, and most of us as coaches, we'd be saying, hand it. Let's just get the first down. And if we ever want to just hand it, we can give our receivers and our quarterback, our offensive lineman, a war call. War means receivers are relentless, and that just means we're going to block and we're not going to throw, or we're not going to have the throw option on the RPO. It's going to be a strict hand the football. We didn't give that on this particular call, and I was thankful that we did not because, again, this was in a game where it was a very solid chess match, and we were figuring each other out. And had we ran the football here, I don't know if we would have gotten the first down or not, but the fact that he pulled it and he got it to the receiver, it wasn't a pretty finish by the receiver. We always want to catch and finish the football play moving forward. However, we threw it, we caught it, we got the first down, and it was a very big play in this game in the red zone. We went on to score on this drive because of this 6-yard completion. You can see here, this is a TP call for us. I told you that one of our adjustments on power, if we get a backside 4-eye, is a TP call. Now we're pulling the tackle, so tackle pulls, guard kicks the 4-eye. Another fun way to get a first down. Same call. Explosive run. A lot of defenders not able to chase the football because they're just not sure if our quarterback is going to reset his feet and make the throw. I put this clip on here because I really believe in relentless effort. In the month of April, normally we would be starting our Red Dawn drills. Red Dawn drills start at 6:15 on Wednesday morning. Red Dawn stands for Relentless Effort Drills. In this drill for us, we've stolen Urban Meyer's above the line philosophy on relentless effort. For us, we define it from point A to point B, or 4 to 6 seconds, as fast and as hard as possible. And we have that printed up on t-shirts, and for all of our players that are 100% with Red Dawn drills, get the t-shirt. We want to make a big deal out of having relentless effort, the ability not to go down, the ability to make the diving tackle, the ability to get off a block, the ability to catch a pass that's contested, whatever that case may be. We want to teach relentless effort. And I believe our coaches have done this really well over the years. And I believe this is a clip where 2 years ago, this kid does not do this. Last year, he came to life and he learned how to run the football and have relentless effort. And he had a phenomenal season as a junior. We're excited that he's coming back. So I think you got to teach it. You've got to make sure that that is the expectation. Doesn't even hit the right lane. As you can see, our O-line coach drew up that line, but does a great job of just relentless effort. Finds a way to get in the end zone. That was a semifinal football game. All I'm showing here is just we can run the same play and we can change the 3 receiver concept. This was a team in which we knew we were going to get man, and so now instead of number 3 running the win route, our number three is going to run the vertical to try to clear out the win route by number 2. So we're going to go we're going to go seam, win, fin here. We didn't throw this, but again, I really believe that it was a static softener. It was a defensive softener, and we rushed for a bunch of yards against this team because of our ability to throw that RPO. Another look, same play. We're vertical with number 3. You can see here, if our quarterback wanted to set his feet and make that throw, then we had it. It was clear, and we could have thrown it. But again, we're stretching the defense. We're making that defense accountable to the tight end side, which is a huge priority. And we're making them accountable to our 3 receiver side, which again is a huge priority. And we're stretching the field as much as we possibly can, horizontally and vertically. Big play for us off of the 1-back RPO, tight end attached. Same look, we're just trying to use motion now. We're trying to use our outside receiver motion to get him in that win space. Could we have thrown this? Yeah, absolutely. He could have reset his feet and thrown it, but he chose to give it, and we got another explosive run off of the give. So that's 1-back power RPO. Same look, same outcome here. Tough to stop with tight end and a 3 receiver set in that trips nub formation. Put our sophomore running back in the game late, had a little extra speed and endurance to him, and he did a great job late in this game to finish us up. Next call, and again, all of these calls that I'm showing you, these are pace plays, and so we can run these extremely fast. We number these 1 through 10, and we signal them, and our guys line up and run them very quickly. This next RPO for us is just a pin and pull RPO. It's the same formation. We call this trio, and so our tight end and trio is going to attach, and his job right here, we give him the ability to block down on a 5 or reach. So if he sees a 5 technique, he's going to block down. If he does not, he's going to reach. I'm showing you a few clips against an odd front where we changed our rule, but our base rule is block down on the 5 or reach man. Our tackle, in this case, our left tackle, he's down. Our left guard is going to kick the forced defender. Our tackle is going to use the back block technique. Our center is going to use the back block technique. Our right guard is going to wrap, and he's pulling and wrapping for the first linebacker, and then we're going to use the scoop hinge by our right tackle. Our back, very important that our back gets in phase with that second puller. We don't want him to outrun it. Again, we use a term, a phrase called slow to the hole, fast through it. We want to make sure that our timing is perfect for the back and both pulling guards. And so you got to have some patience here. Our concept to the 3 receiver side, you see it drawn up here. Number 3 is going to run the win. Number 2 and number 1 are going to run the fin. And again, by rule, the win route is 3-step slant, win back space, or a 5-step slant to win back space. What I like about our back right here is, if you notice, he is in phase with the right guard. As the right guard pulls, he's determining whether or not he's going to seal or kick the linebacker. This look right here, he did not really do either, but he positioned himself well. And so you see him jump outside the seal, and then the redirect from the guard and the linebacker happens, and he's able to jump back in. Linebacker doesn't make the tackle right there, but it was an explosive play that turned into a touchdown. Again, I think our relentless effort drills had a lot to do with that. Once defenses start to add hats to the box, this is where I think RPOs really come to life. We had a lot of success running this RPO against this team, and now we're able to win back the space and throw and catch the RPO for a first down. So again, this is a very productive RPO for us. This is a game, or this is a play here where I would have assumed our quarterback was probably going to hand the pin and pull RPO, but he found a little daylight, and I trusted him. We trusted him. His receivers trusted him, and he knew this is our dude right here, number 8. So he fits it in there nice and tightly and gives our best player an opportunity to make one miss and score. So again, the beauty of these RPOs, when you have a QB that is a great leader, a great decision maker, and accurate with the football, and it's fun when your offense is able to come to life. And that defensive coordinator obviously gets very, very uncomfortable when there are these kind of options on the field. Believe we could have thrown this one. There's a lot of space there, but this is what I like about our quarterback. He wasn't all bought into passing yards. I've heard coaches talk about, if you give your quarterback the opportunity to throw the RPO, he's always going to throw it. Well, no, he's not. Ours didn't. He knew what was best, and this was late in the game. And this was, we were trying. This was that team that I was telling you. This was a great chess match. But he wanted to run the football, and we were running the football extremely well at this time, and he kept giving it. We kept getting positive yards. And then like the clip I showed you on the 3rd down when we got 6 yards, there are times when he did take advantage of the defense. So I really believe it's how you teach, how you coach up your quarterbacks that will set you apart in these RPOs. We don't RPO everything. There's a lot of calls that we make that are not RPOs, but again, these are plays that allowed me as a play caller not to feel bad about a run call, because our quarterback was going to make us right a lot of the times. And I really feel like that's protecting our runs. I think these RPOs, these plays where we have options to throw it, I really think that protects your run calls. There are very few run calls now that I make where I'm disappointed in myself because I didn't see something and I made a run call because I was stubborn. And obviously it helps when you've got a QB that can distribute it properly. Another play that is not special by design, but becomes special because of tempo and execution, is a sprint out, smash, switch concept. We call this pace 3. And so you guys, if you play us, you see us call pace 3, you know we're going to line up in 2x2 and we're going to sprint out to the field and we're going to throw this concept. We want if we see this too high look in the corner squatted, we want to burst corner. So we're going to lose 2 to get inside leverage with our 8-man. We're going to get vertical for 10 to 12 yards, and then we're going to break at 25 yards deep. So you see there our number 1 to the field, our 8-man. So it'd be our Z receiver. He's going to run what we call the burst corner. If we get a cover 3 look or a quarters look, he is able to run that straight post corner that you see drawn there. our inside receiver, he's going to gain 2. And really, they're going to try to make that natural pick, and they're going to try to set that wall and pick that flat defender. But he's going to gain 2. He's going to get vertical as well. He's going to snap that route off at 5. We're telling our quarterback here, throw the out, throw the out, throw the out. Let's go. Catch the snap, sprint out, throw the out. If you can't throw the out, one of 2 things has happened. That star linebacker has expanded and capped your route space, or that corner has triggered and taken the out. If the corner does trigger and takes the out, we've got the one-on-one with the safety. And we tell our quarterbacks and receivers, if that safety is inside and over the top, then flatten him out. Throw that football at 22 yards deep, turn that trajectory and velocity into a 1 ball, and just play pitch and catch away from the safety. If that free safety is inside and underneath, add more trajectory, take a little velocity off, turn it into a 2 ball, and throw that thing at the bottom of the numbers at 25 yards deep. Our quarterback got really good at throwing both of these. And the first case scenario I told you about, if that star does expand, then we do have that backside receiver running that climb route from the backside, and he can become the number 3 option in the pass progression. Most of the time, if our quarterback gets to 1 or 2 and has not made a decision, he knows that now he's to release. We use the R4 system through Dubmatics, and we always have a 1, 2, 3, and a release plan in our passes, both intermediate, drop back, and also in our sprint out. So you can see here the chains are not set. We're trying to throw the out, throw the out, throw the out. We get leverage on that outside linebacker, and we throw the out for a first down. You can see up top, probably could have gone to our outside receiver. But here, take what the defense gives you. Throw the out when you can. Next clip, same thing. Chains are still moving. This is pace for us. We're going fast. We're going to line up in 2x2 to the field. This is an example of the corner now triggering on the out. So we want to throw the out, throw the out, throw the out. But if the corner triggers, now we decide the leverage of the free safety. In this case, the free safety, the time the quarterback is ready to throw it, we out personneled him. And when we trump that free safety with personnel, we want to lay it up. Our quarterback did a great job here of adding some trajectory, taking some velocity off, and throwing a 2 ball 25 yards deep to the bottom of the numbers for a score. Next look, throw the out if you can. Put this clip on here because it doesn't always go as you want, right? It doesn't always go as planned, but right here, our best player went up and made a good play. The corner did a great job here of playing both. Outside linebacker did a great job expanding on the route. Here's why it pays to make sure we do this the right way. This is not correct. We really want that number 1 receiver to go and lose 2. He's got to go get a bump or a natural pick on that star linebacker so that our inside receiver can clear and have some route space. And they didn't do a great job of making that happen, but they did do a great job of making up for it. And genetics on this particular play won out. And this guy's a 4'6", high 4'6", maybe mid 4'6" guy. And he definitely made those guys look silly on that particular play. Same call. We're going quickly. Throw the out if you can. If it's capped, lay it up. He decided to put air on it, turn it into a 2 ball, give our best player an opportunity to make a play. So again, nothing crazy about that, but that's a way in which we create explosives using tempo and simplicity. Everybody can run that play, but running it with tempo, I think, makes that play even better. I'll go quickly. I know I'm going a little over. This next play, I've got 2 more plays. This is a 3x1 sprint out here, and really our inside receiver, our number 2, which is our 6-man. This would be everyone else's Y, I'm assuming. He's going to line -2 from the hash, and he's going to be on the ball. He's going to find that force, that flat defender. If he's inside of him, he's going to go post up on his outside hip. He don't want that star to get over or under. If he's outside of him, he's going to go post up on his inside hip so that he stays as far as possible from the mic. All we're doing on this particular concept is we're going to go try to pick the star so that the inside receiver, our number 3 receiver, our 4-man, can gain 2, get behind him and outside of him, get vertical for 5, and snap this route off. Same concept. It turns into that same sprint out smash, but we call this a stick smash. So throw the out, throw the out, throw the out. And if we can't throw the out, we're going to identify who's taking it away. If the star's taking it away, throw the hitch. If the corner's taking it away, throw the burst corner. So we're going to sprint out to it quickly. We're going to throw the out as much as we possibly can, as quickly as we can. Throw the out, throw the out, throw the out. Set the pick. This was an example of us setting the pick, doing a good job of just forcing those guys to make their adjustments and cover receivers. Here's a look here. This is, let me skip that one. Here's one where, again, just doing a great job. Watch our number 2 receiver go post up on that flat defender. Protect the out, throw the out, give our back some room to run. This is an example here where the trigger, watch number 6, no, I'm sorry. This is an example here where number 12, that star, that flat defender, he expands on the out. Well, now our quarterback has to be ready to hit the hitch. If that hitch route goes and hitches up and the star expands, just buzz your feet and work away from the mic. As long as you stay out of the way, as long as that mic can't push and get underneath you, you're going to position yourself, show the quarterback your hands and your numbers. Our quarterback makes an easy throw and catch, sprint out hitch, 12-yard gain. Here's an example using a little bit of motion to do the same thing. Now we're trying to get it to our best player. He expands, we throw the hitch, same deal. And then here's an example of the corner triggering on the out route and us throwing the burst corner. So now corner triggers, we want to throw the corner, so we got to read the safety. He's over and inside, so flatten him out, one ball it, get the first down. So again, nothing special about this particular play, but just executing it and giving our quarterback 3 options here. And typically there's at least one option that is available if our timing is good and our execution or our decision making and accuracy is good. So we love that play. We love using tempo out of this 3-by-1. Give your guy a chance to make a play. All right, last play, and I'll wrap this up. We use scatters. So again, one of our identities on offense is we want to use shifts and motions. We want to use formation, shifts, and motion. Anytime we use a shift motion combination, we call it a scatter. In every game, we're going to bring in probably a handful of scatters. This is a scatter for us where we're going to align, we're going to shift, we're going to align and empty. So the defense just number 7, he's making the empty check. They're going to align to empty, and then we're going to adjust to a 2-by-2 with our H-back in rip alignment. Now we're going to motion our running back, hand it, reverse it. We've got the edge set. We've got hat on a hat, and we get our best play of the football. Nothing special about play design, but being able to call scatter 1 or scatter 2 or scatter 3, anytime you want to call it, as quickly as you want to call it, is a huge advantage in my opinion. If we had to signal this play in, it would take us forever. So we teach scatters by numbers, and we run these plays weekly. Our guys get familiar with them, and then as the season goes, we add to them. They evolve. We might have the same scatter with a different run, pass, or screen off of it. And so not hard to create these. You just got to memorize them. You got to coach them. Last one here, this is a scatter as well, shift motion. We're going to start in a twins left. We're going to shift into a twins right, and then we're just going to throw a smash switch, which we're reading corner to post, hen route, which is a hitch and in. So here we're going to read this corner to post, hen route, which is this is a 4th and 15 call. This is in the quarterfinals. We line up in twins left. We shift to twins right. We motion our back out. So now we're in empty. We're going to read corner. The corner gets capped. We're going to go to the post. The post is open. We throw it. We get a score on a huge 4th down call. Same call, different opponent. Twins left, we're going to shift. All our quarterback says is shift. Everybody shifts, then he points. The back motions to empty, and he reads this corner to post, in route. Another first down on a 4th and 11 call. Last one here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Twins left, we're going to shift into twins right. We're going to motion the back to empty. First drive of the state championship game. Quarterback sees the corner, is uncapped. He 2 balls at 25 yards deep, and we get a score in a big drive. I'll close with this, and then we'll answer some questions if I can. But if Billy Graham says that a coach will impact more young people in a year than the average person does in a lifetime, I believe it. So coaches, I don't know where you're at or what you do, how you coach. I hope you're using the power of influence in a positive way. We need it now more than ever. And I hope that you're staying connected to your players through this strange season of life. But love on them, text them, call them, email them, do what you can do to make sure you are continuing your influence over them, and treat them right, love them right, coach them hard, but make sure that 20 years from now, they're saying positives about you as their coach. You've got a huge responsibility, so don't take that lightly. Here's my contact information, jeffc@shilohsaints.org. If anybody wants to email me, be happy to talk more football with you. And there you go. That's the presentation. So if we got some questions, more than happy to answer them.
All right, guys, we got any questions? I don't see don't see any. Anybody? Great job, Coach. I appreciate it. Goes without saying, man. That's a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, and I know you got to coach it up to get it right. And obviously, you guys are doing it. Very successful program. Been doing it a long time in that area. A lot of wins, a lot of playoff wins, and it goes without saying. You know, you gotta coach those details and all those explosives. I mean, that's just incredible stats. Those first slides, it's very, very impressive. So, guys, got any questions? Anything for Coach?
Well, thank you. Jim, I want to make sure I say this. We do have great coaches. They understand the game, and they are professional. They're always learning, and they do a great job teaching those details. And we have good players too. We don't have any Division I players, but we got players that work hard, and they use their intelligence to give them an advantage. And we got a lot of great parent support. Our administration does a great job. So I'm in a place where it really looks like I know what I'm doing, but we got a lot of really good variables around us that make this place an easy place to achieve success. And so I wouldn't be doing it without all of that. But I am thankful and honored. I tell our people all the time, there are 500 coaches that could do my job better than I'm doing it. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be at a place like Shiloh Christian where football is important, and just honored to be able to coach our guys, and very honored to be able to speak to you and these coaches about the game of football.
Well said. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you. Good luck to you. Stay safe out there. Guys, if you want to hang tight, we'll get Coach on here in a second. Coach, Coach Andrew, I'm going to pass the ball to you here in a second.
All right. I have no clue what I'm doing, so I hope it goes well. Coach Conaway, you did a great job, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope I can get my presentation set up. I have no clue what this Zoom is all about. So
yeah, no, we'll get you. So if you want to share your screen, what have you got something up?
Yeah. So now, how do I? All right. Oh God. Share screen. This share. All right. Can you guys see stuff?
Yeah, we